your name was in the headlines, not necessarily for creating anti-cancer drugs, but because of insider trading. You did spend 5 years serving your sentence as a result of that. What did that whole experience teach you about running a company and about the relationship between running a company and how you communicate to the public?
Well, unfortunately, that was an event that was not a pleasant event for me. It was a personal event. It wasn't something that happened really involving the company. And it is something that I wish had not happened. Unfortunately, it did, and one learns a lot from everything in life, and one learns how to re-examine what one does and how one does it. So during the period of time that I was away from ImClone, that I was away from lots of things,
from your family, for example?
From my family, and what I did was re-examine the way I would live my life moving forward and what I would do to contribute moving forward. It was then that I began to make plans to build a biotech company that was going to do things that I felt were going to change outcome for patients, was going to be a new model for how to build a pharmaceutical company, and I hope strategically think about the way I was going to live the rest of my life.
Did it also strategically change the way you think about the kinds of people that you do business with and how you create those kinds of relationships and the way you feel about them? Because they may not have always done the right thing.
Well, I try to think about strategically how I view the world right now. I think that most of the time I align myself with people that were great people. And sadly, the personal event that occurred may have obfuscated in many ways the view of who I am and how I did things. I'm glad that ImClone has turned out to be the giant success story that I always knew it would be when my brother and I were running it. ImClone's pipeline now is the exact same pipeline that existed when we left ImClone, and Lilly is the group that's really gaining that great asset. It allowed me to learn a lot, though, about being circumspect in looking at the world and utilizing all the things that I've learned over the years to try to do things that in many ways are redemptive and allow me to move forward and do something really great, so that no one asks me that question again, and only asks me questions about what I'm doing moving forward.
All right, so in that context of doing that, what could you say to investors that are looking to participate in these new types of drugs that you're developing? Because Kadmon is a private company.
Well, there's nothing that really I need to say. I'm of the view that if one has great science, and it's about the science in the end, it's not about piecing together something that makes investors see it differently than it is. So my view is, if the science that underpins the entire organization, and science does for us, I'm in the end somebody that is a scientist and views the world that way. So one's world outlook is very important. I'm not a marketing person. I am not a commercial person. I'm not a finance person. Although I have had to learn a bit about all of those things as a CEO and someone who is very strategic in the way he looks at the world. But if you've got great science and you're doing things that change outcome and that aren't copying the other things that are out there in the world, if you're creating something different, investors will come, you'll build value, you'll change the world. But the focus needs to be not on the investment end of things, but on changing the world.
I want to thank you very much, Sam Waksal, much appreciated, the founder and the chief executive of Kadmon Corporation. And I want to thank you very much, Bloomberg's Meg Terrell. Much appreciated. Thanks for your time.